weather's been terrible, but I thought it would be good to get out while the sun's shining and play this little 9-hole course. So I'm at hole 1. The basket is 227 feet. It's straight down this way. I'm going to start off this round by throwing a forehand with my Dose X. Now I'm going to preface this round by saying it's rather windy. So if the audio quality is not that good, I apologize. And if it's a little bit shaky, I also apologize. But we're working with what we got. So forehand, Dose X. Now there's no tee pads and the ground is rather lumpy, so we're going to do the best we can with what we have. Not too bad, a little bit too straight, but we should have an easy up to the basket for a par. All right, so we left ourselves with a long birdie look. Basket's right there, so let's just try to get a putt at it. All right, not terrible. Strong headwind, but we should have an easy par. All right, that's a par on hole 1. All right, we've made it to hole 2. It's 382. The basket is straight past all this adult jungle gym stuff in front of us that you can climb on. So the goal is to get it through here without hitting any of these poles. And we've got a pretty decent tailwind, so I'm going to throw this Lone Star curl and just try to make it down there without hitting anything. Well, we did manage to hit one of the poles, but we landed right in the middle of the fairway, so not a bad deal. This is where our drive landed. We came up, I don't know, if I had to guess, maybe 150, 175 short, because we hit one of these big telephone pole things that you saw off the tee. So I'm going to take this horny toad and kind of forehand it up there and hopefully give ourselves a look for par. Cool. We were right up there by the basket, so we should have an easy par coming our way. All right, we'll do a selfie putt for hole 2. Here's where my disc landed. There's the basket. And that is a par on hole 2. Made it to hole 3. It's kind of a tunnel shot. You've got to clear this gap. The basket is down towards the lake. It's 314 to the basket. I'm going to take this Frio and just kind of launch it straight down there and see if we can get ourselves an open look. I put a little bit too much hyzer on that shot, but we made it through the gap and we have an open look at the basket. You can see the basket straight down here. We're pretty much in like circle 2 range, so I'm going to take this Benny and just kind of put it up there. Well, not too bad. We should be putting for a pretty easy par. It's shorter than I wanted, but let's get this par. All right, there we go. That's a par on hole 3. This is just a Lake Crowder appreciation. Man, it is just so pretty out here, which is really nice for Western Oklahoma because it's generally kind of flat and boring, but man, Crowder Lake, recommended. This is hole 4 here at Crowder Lake. The basket is 254. It's straight down this fairway. We're kind of facing a pretty strong right to left kind of wind, so we'll see how that plays out. We're going to take this Frio and just kind of try to launch it down there and see what happens. All right, well, we made it down the fairway. I was worried we were going to hyzer off towards the lake, but we're good. Let's go see what we're looking at. That's where the drive landed. We left ourselves with a circle 2 putt for birdie, but let's see if we can get it. We gave it a really good run. We got close, but it just stayed straight and didn't fade. But easy par. Alrighty, we're walking away with a par on hole 4. All right, we've made it to hole 5. It's 205 feet. The basket is basically straight over this hill that's right in front of us. So we're throwing uphill. So I'm going to try to take this Lone Star horny toad and kind of pump it on a hyzer and try to get it up there. All right, so we bounced it off the top of the building, but we are over there towards the basket. So let's go see what we're looking at. All right, so we did land on the other side of the building, thankfully. I was very glad to not have to try to call somebody to get my disc off the roof. The basket's a good, I don't know, 35 feet, 40 feet in that range, circle 2. So we're gonna try to get this birdie with my penny. Oh, off the top of the basket, but we almost got it, so let's go tap in our par. Bounced off the top of the basket and we landed over here, so let's get this par now. There we go. That is a par on hole 5. So far, lots of pars. But this course is super fun. All right, we're here at hole 6, 329 to the basket. We're pretty much straight looking at it from the tee pad. So I'm going to go spur and just try to launch it as far as I can down there. I had such an early release on that throw, but we're gonna go with it again. I don't edit out the bad shots. If I throw a bad one, I throw a bad one. So we didn't make it very far down the fairway. We're gonna have a pretty big up shot to get close to the basket. And here's where the drive landed. So we're gonna take this copperhead and throw it on a hyzer and try to get up close to the basket. Oh no! All right, so you can see how windy it is out there. Unfortunately, that didn't fade fast enough. So we're gonna be probably looking at a bogey here, but let's see what's up. All right, here's where my upshot landed. We've got a good, I don't know, 25, 30 feet to the basket. So let's try to get this par. If not, we'll tap in a bogey. All right, looks like we're going to be tapping in a bogey on this hole. So first bogey of the day. And that's a bogey on hole 6. All right, we've made it to hole 7. It's 276 feet to the basket. It is straight past this road, just past that tree, straight ahead. So we're going to throw a lariat up there and see if we can get it close. All right, so we skipped it around the corner, so we should be looking at the basket up there. We came up a little bit shorter than anticipated, but we have an upshot here for to get to the basket. There we go. Left it right up there. Should have a tap-in par. All right, it's selfie putt once again. So here's our upshot. There's the basket. And that is a par on hole 7. All right, we made it to hole 8. It's 214 feet. Basket just straight ahead out in the open. So I'm going to take this Lone Star midi and pump it on there in a little bit of a hyzer and try to get it close. right, well, we left it in putting range, hopefully, so we're going to get up there and see what it looks like. Drive landed here next to this giant pole. Oh, left it about 25 short. Looked a lot closer off the tee, but, you know, you got to do what you got to do with it, you know. 25 feet to the basket. Let's try to get this birdie. Oh, left it just short, but tap in par. Hey, look, another selfie putt. So here's my putter. There's the basket. And that's a par on hole 8. All right, we've made it to our final hole, hole 9. It's about a 300-foot shot downhill. The basket is past all that junk in between the trees. We do have a headwind coming in, so I'm going to try this hooligan yeet. I'm just going to kind of pump it on a hyzer and hopefully get it down there. All right, looks like I just made it past the junk. It skipped up a little bit, so let's go see what we're looking at. All right, well, we did make it past the junk. That was kind of my goal. I threw it a little bit too low. I think if I would have got a little bit more height on it, it would have done what I wanted, but we're a good 60 short probably, so I'm going to take my putter and just kind of get it up close. Or I can throw it in the basket from here. Finally, on the last hole, we get a birdie. Man, that was a good, like I said, a good 60 feet away, so I'm pretty proud of that. But that's going to end it here at Crowder Lake, just outside Weatherford, Oklahoma. I hope you enjoyed watching.